Welcome to The Best Part Is with Sid Adee. I'm Sid, a writer, actor, and a connoisseur of all things geekdom. And Aditi is a cognitive psychologist, actor, director, and pop culture enthusiast. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, put on your earpods, and let's dive into the best part.
Welcome to The Best Part Is 2.
With Sid Adee! Yay!
Okay, so this is what I was trying to tell you. So these are the months of the year. Okay?
Yeah, it is some bullshit.
Don't start with a cuss word and you forgot the button.
Oh, sorry. This some...
But why do you elongate? It's fine. It's completely unnecessary. Okay, so this is the months.
Yes.
Okay? So most people visualize it as Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, blah, 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 December. Okay?
Okay.
This is how people visualize the months.
Okay.
Vertical manner. But there are also people who visualize it as Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, blah, 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 December. How do you visualize your months?
What do you mean visualize months?
Like, how do you keep track of time? Like, okay, Jan is over, so it's over like it's like this, so vertically it's over now.
I was in Jan. Jan is over. Now I'm in Feb.
So you just don't visualize months in a manner?
No.
You don't even visualize months like this, Jan, Feb, March, April. I think you do visualize months that way.
No.
It's just over. You were here, now you're here. Now
I
you're
promise
here,
you, never in my life have I ever visualized a month.
So people either visualize it vertically or hexagonically or horizontally or cyclically. People visualize it as a vortex. And all of this contributes to your spatial understanding. And all of it also contributes to how you see time. And this is also why a lot of people have something that you have a lot, which is called... Wait 1 second, it takes a little bit of time to write on this.
It takes you that long to write 4 letters?
Time blindness.
Time blindness.
It's where you don't realize when you have spent more time doing something than you should have.
I spend precisely the right amount of time doing everything I wanted to do.
As you are continuously Gandalf, as we have established, Gandalf with bad timing, you have this consistently.
No.
Maybe fix how you visualize your months.
Okay.
So
I have a question. Like
Yes.
going back to the other side, which is not attacking me.
You mean the flip side of this
Yes,
whiteboard
the
that I'm
whiteboard.
using? Yes.
So, are all the people who visualize it like this, they're like organized people, they're well-organized people?
People who are more organized tend to visualize it more vertically or horizontally. But people who are more cyclical in nature and feel like the world is after them or, they're kind of stuck, they tend to visualize it more cyclically. People who visualize it hexagonically, I don't know what's happening there. The other day I saw something where some girl...
But why would that be so different to you? Like it's like a clock.
Yes, but then that means at some point she also visualizes July the way she visualizes October.
No, it's like a clock. It's like saying that you visualize 3 and 9 together.
Okay, so my brain does not understand it. But I'm working on it. But this does have direct composition or direct correlation to time blindness.
And also you're telling me there's something that you found out about, like visualizing months.
Did I say I researched on it? No, I didn't.
No. You're telling me that something that I absolutely don't believe exists, like visualizing months, is something I have a better understanding of than you.
You don't believe in it doesn't mean it does not exist.
I didn't say that.
You don't believe in a lot. People don't believe in
I didn't say that. I don't believe in therapy. It does exist.
Yes, it does exist.
And you should go for it. Kids go for therapy. It's good for you.
Yes.
Manipulate life. Ranbir Kapoor.
Stop quoting Ranbir Kapoor on each of our podcasts. Like it's not some...
I'm marketing him for no
You're
reason.
marketing him more than you should have. Anyway, so
what is time blindness?
Time blindness is the idea that, okay, for example, I have a little bit of time blindness when it comes to, you tell me this. I go like, you know what, I will get ready in 15 minutes, then I will reach here in 45 minutes, so it'll take me an hour, and then it takes me more than an hour to do it.
I won't call that time blindness. I'll just...
Time blindness contributes to time management. So that all comes in a way. So for example, a lot of people, and this is proven in research, when you start playing video games, people believe that they're spending less time...
Tread carefully.
they're spending less time than more time playing a video game. So about 70 to 80% of the general population that plays video games actually extrapolate or actually mark themselves to play less than they actually play. For example, I would like to say, how many hours did you spend playing Spider-Man? What was it? What was the total hours?
A very healthy amount.
What was the healthy amount?
Look.
No, the question is very simple. The question has a very simple and easy answer. So let's give them the answer.
I played it in the time I allotted for playing it.
Which was?
475 hours.
475 hours.
Rounding
you
it
spent
down.
Rounding it down. You spent 475 hours playing a video game. 475 hours.
I wanted to play it.
Let's use your very ADHD.
I wanted to play it.
Let's use your ADHD hyperfocus brain and let's do this. How many hours are there in a month? How many hours are there in a month? Googling. We're slowly Googling how many hours are there in a month.
24 into 30. 720 if it's a month of 30 days.
So you spent...
An easier way of doing that would be 475 divided by 24.
Let's do that. How much is it?
I did multiplication by accident.
Very good. 475.
19 days.
You spent 19 days.
Very fun days.
Over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks playing one video game.
Oh, wait, hold. The math is not mathing.
So let's
the math is not mathing.
So,
How did I spend 19 days over 2 weeks? 2 weeks is 14 days.
More than 2 weeks, I said. Upwards of 2 weeks, less than 3 weeks. Listen.
A month.
Active listening is also a contributor. All of which can be worked on therapy. Please go for therapy. Yeah.
I have time blindness. I didn't go on time.
As a person with heavy time blindness, how were your last 19 days?
Lost time.
See, this is the problem with having...
See, okay, I accept that is time blindness. Like you, I will admit, there have been times, like yesterday I was supposed to do a lot of things. But at 6 p.m. I started working on, just for fun. I was editing a picture on Photoshop. And I ended up doing that till 2 a.m.
Yeah. This happens.
So I admit that is there. But video gaming is not part of it. I very consciously give that much amount of time.
Actually, I have had this conversation multiple times. Well, when in my initial years of learning psychology, I had a very, like in my peer group in university, a very avid gamer used to go like, I use gaming as a replacement for therapy.
Nah, that's not how it works.
That is not how it works. I agree with this. But then it had a therapeutic effect, maybe, but it's not a replacement for therapy. Engaging your brain to a level where it cannot think about anything else or remove itself from gaming and hyper focuses you into only gaming, immerses you into that world, does not mean that it's therapy.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't give you the same effect, but it gives you that feeling of removal.
Yeah.
Which is again comforting. So that comfort is what they seemingly associate with
addiction, right? It's a form of addiction.
Yes. So then what is form of addiction? We don't know, because addiction is very much largely complicated. It's a very complicated space. So we don't talk about things we generally don't know, right? So we will say this though, that when you do engage with something like video gaming to that level, it can have negative impact in your brain. So it does contribute to time blindness. So if you're trying to work on your hyperfocus, like you said, you were staying up till 2 a.m. to try to finish something last night. Yeah. And you just got immersed in it.
Yeah, and at one point I was just doing nonsense on it.
Yeah.
Like it was already finished by like 11 p.m.
No, I know, because when I woke up in the morning, you sent me drafts of it for no reason. I was like, it was well and done.
And the changes, like if you compare all the drafts that I sent, if you compare all the changes, negligible changes. Like you can barely, like unless you sit and focus and try to play that 6 differences game, then, where are the differences? You won't find any differences, because like it's contrast ratio, adjusting it. I spent 30 minutes adjusting the contrast ratio. I know how it looks.
Nobody else does. But that's essentially the problem with people in the neurodivergent space when they're dealing with things like time blindness. But this also has to contribute to the passion factor. A lot of neurodivergent people in this population can be very passionate about things.
That's also what I wanted to say, because you're saying I had time blindness for Spider-Man. Yeah. I consciously gave that much amount of time.
Right. You gave it that time.
I gave it that time. I wanted to spend that much time. Like I finished the game. I wanted to play it again. And I finished it again. This time I wanted to play on a higher difficulty.
Yeah.
And I wanted to win that extra trophy, which I was missing.
Yeah.
So like, there was a certain goal I was working towards, and I knew how much time it's consuming.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Right, okay. If that's the case, the thing is also the exhibition of passion.
Yeah.
Right, it goes back to that. Like, I remember when I was growing up, right, I was an athlete of sorts. Like, I played shot put and discus and javelin for 12 years of my life.
Wow, that's a
before
long
I gave it up for debate and dance. And then I gave that up for fencing and archery. And I gave that up for drama. And then I gave that up for business running and mental health space. And I do drama on the side. But still, it's exhibition of passions that come and go and come and go, and I have hyperactivity. So this contributes, it's a big factor in that I find new passions to indulge myself. Engage myself in, and then I move from one space to another, because the space also gets boring.
So are you saying that, if you were not doing something, like if you had to just sit there doing nothing, because you're at home, you finished your day of work, you came home, you don't have any plans to go outside, nothing. The food is made ready. You already have food in the fridge. You don't even have to order food. Nothing. You won't be able to do it?
That's a nightmare for me.
Yeah?
We have currently moved into a space where in this world there's only distractions. You do not have quiet time available. I was just discussing with my colleagues the other day, or this morning in fact, there is no third place. We have we have our home, we have our workplace. There's no third place because it gets muddled. I am on my phone.
FOMO.
We do have our
FOMO
shisha
cafe.
place that we go to,
Yeah.
but we don't have in our third place. At FOMO we work. At FOMO we are talking about work. We are
It's a
planning
substitute
our
for home.
Yes,
Yeah.
everything is so mixed up and muddled together, in the sense that I am on or talking to my colleagues at 2 a.m. in the morning about
That's
work.
unhealthy.
It's unhealthy, but it's also, we both are anxiety driven about the future, about the next steps. So when you're anxiety driven, you need to reach out to someone to go like, you know what, everything's okay, everything will be solid, and then I get to go to sleep.
But you all go for therapy, right?
I used to go for therapy. I don't go for therapy
Don't they
anymore.
preach work-life balance over there?
At therapy, you go. All therapists don't sit together and say the same dialogues. It's not like we all sit. We don't have a bi-monthly meeting where we go like, "What is the tagline for this month? For October, it is work-life balance." No, that's not what we do. It's not a thing we do. There is
like
no secret
therapist expo.
There is no therapist expo.
Oh, that would be such a good thing.
Stop hyper focusing. Just stop it.
Imagine like Expo 2020.
Stop ADHDing all over this conversation. Just stop it. Just pull back. Just pull back.
We can't imagine.
No, I can't. Visualization. You can't do. So I can't do. So anyway, that anxiety-driven feeling settles down, and then we go to bed. Right? So the third place doesn't exist. And because the third place doesn't exist, and third place then becomes these kind of things. It becomes, for many health enthusiasts, it becomes the gym. For many passion-driven people, it becomes overworking themselves with creative ideas, which is one of the things that I do.
Can it be an activity?
It has to be an activity.
No, can it be an activity? Like if you're binge watching a show, then that becomes your third place.
That becomes your third place, because our third place is so vague now. It's just what we do. It's what space. For example, one of my colleagues predominantly works from home. For her, the third place is the office. It is a very interesting concept that we're in.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Like if you work from home, then your home is your office as well as your home.
Yeah.
So you just have one place.
Yes, you just have one
You don't
place.
have a second place.
You don't even have a second place. So that's the issue, right? And when you put down the lack of third place, then comes these things where I consciously give 475 hours for Spider-Man.
Consciously.
Spider-Man. I just made him
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Just made him
Again, it's not actually inaccurate. In the Spider-Verse, there are multiple infinite Spider-Men. And in the comic, Into the Spider-Verse, Peter Parker meets all of these people and they fight.
But the version that I saw, Miles Morales met them.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is the movie. I'm talking about the comics.
Yes, I did not.
Miles Morales was there in the comic as well.
Yes, I know. This is also a part of how much time you spent.
Oh,
reading.
I have read every single Spider-Man comic book released from
Up until
the day
2016.
it was up until 2016.
You know why I know this date?
Because I keep saying this.
All the bloody time.
Well.
any which way. So this is the exhibition of passion. So this is one of the many ways we show our passion.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we talk a lot. We have to have creative spaces. We need to have creative conversations. We need to talk about writing and drama and
Yeah.
TV shows and movies and theatre and what Andrew Scott is up to and what this person or what Tony Awards are looking like, what
Yeah.
podcasts are looking like. We have that issue as well. And this evolution comes into many which things. Like for example, even the way great filmmakers make movies have also changed, and this evolution has happened. This third place knowledge kind of has changed even in the way they present themselves.
If you look at the way movies are made now, like they used to be, just take a movie like Once Upon a Time in America. To be fair, it's a very painful movie for me to watch. It took me a multiple watch. It's one of the greatest movies for many people.
Like Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane is a genuinely good movie.
I've never watched it.
That's a you problem. So uneducated,
Rude.
So uncultured. So
Stop! Move on.
okay, sorry. So
Just keep going with no end in sight.
uneducated. So I was watching Once Upon a Time in America. It's a movie with Robert De Niro. It's about mobsters and mafia. I've never finished this film.
Okay.
I've always picked it up because it features on so many people's lists of favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
In the start of this film, there's a 5-minute sequence where a phone is ringing. Tring, tring. It's not even tring, tring. It's like, you know that old phone that goes like, tring. That. For 5 minutes it's ringing. There's no phone on the screen. For 5 minutes it's ringing in unrelated scenes, and then it comes to the scene where the phone is answered. It gives me anxiety. I couldn't watch it. It's too annoying. Somebody answer the phone. It's annoying. I couldn't get past it. In a lot of movies like Goodfellas, for example, there's an entire sequence where the guy gets out of the car with his date. They go through the stairs, through the kitchen. It's all one shot. Martin Scorsese's one shot. It's a very famous one shot in Goodfellas. Through a kitchen. Through this kitchen, he goes through into the alleyway, enters another kitchen, walks through that. He's bribing people on the way, shaking hands and giving them money. He's also showing off for the lady that he's with. And then finally, they enter this large restaurant which is full of these mobsters and mafia bosses. And he finds and goes his chair and goes and sits on it. It's an entire sequence of one shot. You don't get shots like that anymore. In today's world, his car would stop. The door would open. From one end, the girl would come out. He would come out the other end. And next cut would be he's sitting inside with everyone else. That entire time that people used to take isn't there anymore.
Yeah, because you don't have that kind of time because you have to put in
back so much in. Like if you in the last phase of Marvel films, the 4 films that did exceptionally well: Spider-Man: No Way Home,
right.
Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
It did well.
For me, it did well. I liked it.
Guardians of the Galaxy number 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Black Panther Part 2. In all these movies, they weren't building overarching. They weren't writing anything for an overarching future.
Right.
It dealt with the movie. It stayed within the movie. Okay, they weren't setting up Kang, for example, like Ant-Man did.
Yeah.
And horrible film, worst film I've ever watched. There was no Ant-Man in it.
Okay, that was quite rude. The people put in effort and blood and sweat in that movie.
No, I'm not taking away their effort. I'm certainly not taking away anything from them. But I'm just saying it's not a good film. And the reason is these 4 films were just within their own scripts, within their story. They weren't trying to build something up. Look at the X-Men movies that used to come. X-Men 1, X2, X-Men Last Stand. They were building themselves up. They were existing within their storylines, which is why even though they had like 5, 6, 7 superpowered characters to establish, they gave everyone a introduction. They gave everyone's backstories. They gave everyone's psychological complications, and they still were able to tell an overarching story that was extremely entertaining. And yes, some X-Men movies bombed. X-Men Origins Wolverine, I'm looking at you. X-Men Dark Phoenix, I'm looking at you. Yes, some did not do well. Sure. But it wasn't because they were trying to tell a story and build another universe. X-Men Origins Wolverine also failed because they were trying to introduce so many characters so they could give each of them another film. So they introduced Gambit. They wanted to give Gambit his own film. But they didn't want to just give him a film. They wanted to introduce him here and then give him a film. And give him a mysterious exit. So that people would wonder, oh, what happened to him? None of that worked. People don't tell stories anymore within that framework of the movie that they have. They have to set something up. They have to set up Kang or the multiverse, or they have to set up Secret Wars, and they're not able to tell the story they came to tell, and the audiences are not connecting and they're not enjoying it anymore. Even when Marvel was doing phase 1, Iron Man had his movie. They weren't building up Avengers. Iron Man 2 did not do well because they were trying to build up Avengers. Incredible Hulk, its own story.
So it's always towards something. It's
always towards something.
I understand that. But
Phase 2 did not have that problem. Phase 3 did not have that problem, even though there was Infinity War.
One of the things that I do miss in movies is something that you showed me recently, actually, and we went through it recently, is when, for example, in X-Men, not First Class.
Days of Future Past.
No, the old ones.
X2.
In X2,
yeah,
when
I know what
Wolverine
you're
couldn't find a soda in the school, couldn't find beer in the school, he takes a soda and it's warm.
It's warm. It's kept in a cabinet.
It's
First of all, who
cabinet.
stores a soda in a cabinet? Why was it?
It's probably in a cabinet because they didn't want kids to reach it or whatever.
Fair
Fine. So they took it and he's just like, oh, what do I do? There's no ice. And gave it to Iceman.
Iceman.
He blows in it. Right? Those kind of scenes don't exist anymore. We just have, for example, in Deadpool vs. Wolverine, we go from fight to cameo, cameo to fight, fight to cameo, cameo to fight, cameo to fight, fight to cameo, and done.
Yeah.
There is no those little subtleties.
How do they use their powers in day-to-day life? No.
We don't know that. We have flame on or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flame on, flame on. Oh, yay.
That's it.
Now he's gone. Now there's another one doing something. Now there's somebody else doing something.
Yeah, that is missing.
The quiet moments are not there, you know. It's just like, it's missing. And because the audiences need to be, it's a TikTok era. You know, you have a 30-second attention span.
Yeah.
So if you don't grab their attention in 30 seconds, khalas, they're checking their phone.
Yeah.
Which happened. In Deadpool Wolverine, there was this very nice heartfelt scene between one character and another character, which I was looking forward to. And that scene is going on, and then one stupid light just pops up, and this woman says,
and it's not just one. There was several. That is one, two,
No.
three.
So it started here. It started here, and
Here, and you mean in front of
you. And then
you.
my friend Saloni Mehta, I'm looking at you because for some reason, emotional scenes, everyone gets up.
Okay.
She starts engaging with you, and you engage back.
I did engage back.
You engaged back. And I'm like, I just want to feel something in this scene, but none of you are letting me.
But you felt it.
No, I didn't.
You keep talking about it all the time.
No, I didn't feel it.
How do you feel things then why do you keep talking about it?
I felt anger from the other people.
Anger, a lot of psychologists will tell you, is a feeling.
Oh, really?
So at the end of the day, I win this conversation. So great, amazing, I win. I love it. So exhibition of passion has evolved over time, and owning to factors like maybe the evolution of time, TikTok, this, that. We are all in this hyperactivity era where we need to move from one thing to the other, and that's reflective in our media that we consume and in the movies we consume, and all of that, right? And then you have these, in the flip side, these very big Olympians and stuff who stick to one thing for their whole lives and give it all.
But that's why they are the best in the world at what they do.
That's true. I don't disagree with this.
Noah Lyles is the fastest man on earth right now.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah, I mean, that keeps changing every Olympic. But
kudos to the Botswana man who came first in the 200-meter run.
Yeah, there you go. And again, here's the thing. These are the fastest people on the planet, all of them.
I know.
Even the guy who's coming 10th and disappointed, I'm like, he's going to race. He can race the rest of the planet and win every single race.
And you know that they're going to win all apocalypses.
Yeah.
All of them. It's going to be faster, stronger, sharper than everyone else.
Yeah. Like the guy's coming 10th and he's crying, like, he came 10th. I'm like, bro, you're faster than the rest of the planet.
Right? Yeah. It's why humans like us would call it like they're all doping.
No, not humans like us. They're very different humans from a different continent.
No, we won't get racial here.
I'm not being racial. I'm saying there's a very specific continent that calls everyone else dopers.
Okay, fair enough. But, it's funny, like even when you watch things like cycling.
Yeah.
Okay, when I look at cycling and I'm like, oh wow, this is such a interesting sport to be
Really?
obsessed over.
That's not what you said when you saw it. You'll say, why are cycling in an Olympics event? Why is cycling?
I really don't understand.
It's
But
not easy.
I don't disagree. I find cycling exceptionally hard. I can't sit on a stationary bike for 30 minutes. What are you telling me? I understand that. I'm not fit. So I completely understand how difficult cycling is. But, but that's also probably why, they get caught because of that sport, they get caught for doping and, I don't know, shooting their wives, whatever it is. But it's...
Sorry, what?
Isn't that a thing? Wasn't that like a cyclist who went into coma and shot their wife or something?
No, you have just clubbed different athletes in one. One of them actually is a very nice person.
Oh, say more.
Yeah, one of them is Michael Schumacher.
The driver.
The Formula One race car driver.
Race car driver.
One of the greatest Formula One race car
My
drivers of all
sincere
time.
apologies
The
to
Sachin
human
Tendulkar
world.
of F1.
Yes, okay.
The Pele of F1. The Muhammad Ali of F1.
Okay.
He retired at the top of his game, went skiing with his family, got into an accident, hit his head, and unfortunately has been in a vegetative state for the last 10 years.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And he is in the coma. He is in a coma.
Okay.
That athlete is in a coma.
Okay.
The shooting his wife part is Oscar Pistorius. Schumacher is, I think, German, if I'm not wrong. I'm not a F1 fan.
You
I
are
don't
wrong.
follow the F1. So she might be German.
Doesn't matter. Move on.
Oscar Pistorius is the one who shot his wife or girlfriend. I'm not sure if it was wife or girlfriend, but he was South African.
Okay.
He didn't have legs.
Okay.
He ran with prosthetic legs.
Oh, he was a Paralympian.
Or a cyclist. Not sure.
Okay.
It's been so long.
So
here's the thing.
So why are you pretending to know things when you don't know them?
No, I'm not pretending to club them all together.
So, the thing is, to be honest.
And the doping is very exclusive to Lance Armstrong, who had testicular cancer, came back after recovering from testicular cancer, and then was hailed as a hero for winning races. And then it was turned out that he was using performance-enhancing drugs. So, you three very different people. The doping cyclist is different from Oscar Pistorius, who killed his wife.
Or/girlfriend.
Or/girlfriend, who is also different from Michael Schumacher, who is in a coma.
So, the thing is, I funnily knew all of these three things, but I wanted to make a huge point, an excessively huge point, that you, as a person, because neurodivergence is my space, I need to talk about it all the bloody time.
It's called manipulation.
It's true, it is called manipulation. The need for ADHD folk to have justice in every conversation.
What was justice in this?
It's like, there's this high level of, no, this has to be right. This is what it is. What you're saying is wrong. I'm the winner. I'm number one. I get the trophy. You suck. That all neurodivergent ADHD people face is such a huge part of this. Like, I confused it was a small statement that was to trick you.
You clubbed three people together.
And you went on a rant.
You didn't trick me.
With your own muddled thoughts where you don't even have clarity in any of them, by the way.
You didn't trick me.
Mind you didn't have clarity on any of them. And you went on it.
Pretending to have tricked me, you made a mistake.
Fantastic. This was such a good segue. I didn't even have to do much. I loved it. Did you know that people who have ADHD and are neurodivergent have a high sense of empathy and the need for justice? It's also why it struggles, like I and you struggle, for example, to watch injustices happening around the world, and we feel so much helplessness attached to it. For example, there's a very famous TikTok, I do not remember her name at this point, but you'll remember the video. She can't watch Olympics because she feels bad for the people who don't win.
What?
Yeah, and she's very big on the ADHD space. So she feels bad for the Olympians who don't win, and that riles her up. She
doesn't watch competitive sport because she's annoyed that somebody loses?
Yes, she gets frustrated for them. This is a very natural space for people who face ADHD. So a lot of people, we have such heightened emotions, more you than me because I only have hyperactivity. You have such heightened emotions about everything, so much so that you're seething with anger at this very point. People who cannot see your face will not know.
I'm not seething with anger.
You're not seething with anger, as I say, speak through in between my teeth.
Okay, I have a question.
Ask away.
I feel like we're putting too much on ADHD. I think it's diluting ADHD at this point. What does empathy have to do with ADHD?
Empathy doesn't have anything to do with ADHD. Emotional regulation has to do more with ADHD. The lack of emotional regulation that comes from this heightened sensitivity is the problem. But this is not exclusive to ADHD. This happens with a lot of people with PTSD, people who have bipolar disorder, people who have BPD. I have a very good friend who has BPD.
What is BPD?
Borderline personality disorder. I have a very good friend who struggles with...
A lot of villains in comic books.
Comic book villains have BPD.
personality disorders, split personality, Joker.
Again, I'm so glad you brought this up. Personality disorders are large in number.
Oh.
So, borderline personality disorder is separate from dissociative identity disorder. Split personality is not a thing. Please remove that from your colloquialism.
So what does James McAvoy have in Split?
Dissociative identity disorder. Yes, he has, and whatever he has is not, it's not even a representation of DID. DID is much more casual than that. It's not a full-blown...
Have you met anyone with that? Like you?
Very briefly. In my masters, when I was working in a hospital, I had a very brief encounter with one, and they just switch between their personalities, and it would just be an accent change at best. Okay. And that was because of traumatic conditions.
Serial killer or something?
No, because this is not Hollywood. The whole world is in Hollywood.
That's a boring encounter. I thought you were going to build up to something exciting, like I was kidnapped, I was in the basement.
But that's the thing. The whole of psychology is not that exciting.
But that's the thing with everything. That's the thing with everything. Like you become lawyers. Like I have a friend who's a lawyer, right? Yeah. And he became a lawyer because he used to watch all these television shows, and he became... All I see him do now is just he's working on his laptop.
Yeah. Not everyone's Matt Murdock.
And even Matt Murdock, where? Like 2 cases he fought in 2 seasons. Harvey Specter. There we go. Oh my God, even Harvey doesn't go to trial.
Culture references are always indulgent.
In fact, the better example from Suits is Lewis. Harvey settles cases outside the court. Lewis actually goes to court. Props to Lewis, man.
Are you giving props to a show that's been over for like 5-7 years?
7 years. FYI, 7, not 5. 7.
Okay, I'm sorry, justice and heightened.
No, this has anything to do with justice.
I'm sorry that it had to be clear. I'm sorry it had to be exact. My apologies.
Another good example is the Lincoln Lawyer, Matthew McConaughey. Not the TV show. Although that one is good though, to be honest. But Matthew McConaughey.
How about Viola Davis from How to Get Away with Murder? She goes to court all the time.
She kills people.
You don't think lawyers kill people?
No.
Just because your friend uses a laptop.
Hey, I'll need him one day.
Yeah, let's say that one. But
I might need him one day.
Did you see the really cool thing that I sent you about the word podcast? That it came from the word iPod broadcast.
Where did you send me this?
This is a very nice, again, TikToker whose name, I should really start learning these names.
Yeah.
Who talks about semantics. Podcast word came from the word iPod broadcast. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Apple has not sued everyone using podcast.
I don't think they remember. They would if they could, but I don't think they remember. I think that's
like this is our word. We've invented it. We're suing all of you. I just given them an idea. Sorry.
You give people a lot of this idea. I understand this is an uncensored.
No, but they can't. They couldn't sue someone. Jokes aside, they tried suing someone for using the letter I. And they were told very...
Did iMate have it before they did? Like iMate, the hard disk.
I know, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think so they have it before.
Right? I'm sure they used it before.
They sued somebody for having the letter I, some restaurant or something. And then they were told in no uncertain terms that, the letter I is not... it wasn't a restaurant or something else. Yeah, sure, I've checked it before.
Let's Google it.
Yes.
Apple sued in a landmark iPhone monopoly lawsuit.
No, you're checking something where Apple was sued. Apple sues someone for the letter I.
Oh, there's an Apple lawsuit going on
I don't have internet. So it says it's a letter. The news article is no internet. Try checking the network cables, modem and router. Reconnecting to Wi-Fi. Running Windows.
Are you still...
Oh, there's a game you can play.
Apple has been dealt a severe blow, having been told that it no longer has monopoly on the letter I as part of the name for its products. A trademarks tribunal has knocked back Apple's bid to stop a small company for trademarking the name TOPI for using on its laptop bags and cases for Apple products.
Wait, so
did you get distracted?
There's a game they added to the no internet page. See?
Did you just get distracted?
They added a game to the no internet page.
Gosh. Oh my god.
Game!
Oh my god, you got distracted in the middle of this conversation. I love it.
I just hit a high score.
Yes, but okay.
Because I played it for the first time.
You cannot trademark I because
exactly.
it was there before.
That's what we were talking about?
Unfortunately.
That's what we were talking about. Okay, fine.
Unfortunately, you cannot trademark the letter I. That's just how it goes.
Unfortunately for Apple. So they can't sue us for using the word podcast.
No. Hence, you cannot sue people for using the word podcast.
There we go.
What is your favorite podcast?
Best part is.
Easy.
No, I'm terrible at this. I don't remember names of things that I've watched. To be very honest, I haven't watched a lot of podcasts.
People don't watch podcasts; they listen to them.
Then I don't know. I've never heard it. And I did hear the one you sent me for the crime one. I really enjoyed that one.
Desi crimes.
There was Desi crimes? I don't remember, but it was something.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed that. I heard like one episode of it, but it doesn't engage me that much. I like if I'm
you like to consume content in a more
story-based.
Stereo-based.
Stereo-based, yes.
Stereo-based.
Mono-based. Stereo-based.
Story-based structure.
So I in audiobooks I listen to novels.
Yeah.
These days I'm listening to Brendan Sanderson's Mistborn trilogies, book 1.
Isn't that the 24-hour?
Yes.
The 24-hour audiobook,
yes,
isn't it?
I'm 2 hours in.
And you bought a separate book as well. So
I bought the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
Because it was
that's a fantastic way to engage your brain. If you ever feel like you cannot get through a book, especially as we grow older, our ability to read high text.
Yeah, why does that happen?
It reduces because different parts of our cognitive brain is more active than the semantic linguistic side.
Annoying. Like I remember the year Harry Potter's Part 6 came out, right?
I wouldn't remember it.
Oh yeah, you were too young. So me and my best friend, we go to the mall.
Right.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
And we find out over there that this is not the UK. There are no lines waiting for the book.
Malls were open at 7 a.m.
Yeah, malls are always open. You can enter the mall at any given point of time. How do you think the workers get in?
Oh, seriously? Is that a thing?
You can enter the mall at any point of time. Security will just come and kick you out.
Oh, okay.
So we entered Sharjah City Centre at 7 a.m.
Right.
Because we wanted to be first before the store opened.
Right.
At 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And we wanted to be first in line to grab our books, which we had pre-booked.
Oh, okay. So
we didn't even have to do,
So it was yours anyway.
We just wanted it first so we could just come out and start reading it. And we reached over there, and 2 hours later, there's nobody except there's 2 more girls came over there. That's it. And they also thought the same thing, that there'll be a huge line. And the 4 of us.
But there was a huge line for one book, because when I was in 11th, 12th grade.
Harry Potter Part 5. That had a line everywhere.
When I was in 11th, 12th, that's 2010, 2011. What part came
2011? 2011 was Game of Thrones.
Okay, maybe it was a little before that. I don't remember timelines like this. I have a very, very big timeline issue in general.
Where were you? What were you doing?
I didn't go there. I know my friends went to Magrudi's, and they had a line outside Magrudi's.
Magrudi's had a line for Harry Potter Part 7.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Cursed Child?
No, Part 7.
Part 7, Deathly Hallows. Okay. I know Cursed Child 1.
Cursed Child was 2014, 2015, maybe that?
2015. No, Cursed Child 1, I was there.
Okay.
It was a huge event where you had a full Harry Potter, what do you call it? Scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt.
And then you go, and then you get the book and everything.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
4 a.m.
Did it feel like a waste when you finished reading the book?
4 a.m.
But to be honest, the track record of J.K. Rowling was very good at that point of time. So Harry Potter, Cursed Child.
That was good.
And then I got the book and I realized, it's not even written by J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
And then it became a play, which I never got to watch. 2 years in London.
I would like to watch it.
I have tried for over 2 years to get a booking.
Yeah, you lived there.
I walked past it. I walked past that theatre.
How do you live there and not
Once a
watch
week.
it? I know people in Dubai who've watched it.
Yeah, because they travel for it. So they book and then they go. And I've been trying to book from there. And people have sent, you can send proxy people to stand in lines to get those very cheap tickets.
Huh.
And that also didn't work out for me. I have tried it all. I just never got it. And I think I was there during peak period.
Lines. That's coming back to what we were discussing.
Yes.
Sorry, we went on a very different tangent.
Tangential.
So, the doors open, we get the Harry Potter books and we realize we wasted 2 hours of our life. We didn't need to come here at 7 o'clock.
That's right.
We could have just come at 9 o'clock.
Makes
and
sense.
Everything was empty anyway.
Absolutely.
We got our books, which were pre-paid for, pre-ordered. We didn't have to come in a line.
Oh no.
But I bullied Akhil into coming and he came along.
Yeah.
Shout out to Akhil for standing by me. Time blindness. That wasn't time blindness. We were miscalculated. Not everything is time blindness.
Why did you say it out loud? I just showed you a board.
Shut up. So we go back. Now remember, we got the book at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
We walked back home. It took 40 minutes for us to reach home.
You guys walked? Wow.
We didn't have money back then. We couldn't cab
Commitment.
it.
I loved it. Keep
we
going.
didn't have money for...
Keep going. Love it.
So we walked back home. 10 a.m. I started reading it. By 12:30, I'd finished the entire Half-Blood Prince.
Wow.
2.5 hours. I could sit through and just read books like this.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
Not anymore. Why does that happen?
Because as you grow older, you engage different parts of your cognitive brain. Right now, you are in the finance side of things. You're trying to sort out your career, sort out your life, sort out finances at home. When you're engaging with those faceted areas
Part of my
your
brain is not working then.
Yeah, it essentially isn't. If you do like a cognitive assessment or IQ test like WAIS for adults, you end up noticing that you have certain areas that are much better than the others. If you take a school child's report, it's more balanced in nature.
Okay.
If it's low, it'll be more balanced low. If it's high, it'll be more balanced high. But as an adult, you'll have certain areas that are really high and functioning, but some not so much.
For our viewers, can you tell how to take a WAIS test if somebody wanted to?
A WAIS test like a WAIS test?
Right here, people, in the subtitles.
Okay, so if you want, essentially it's an IQ test. Stop. Just stop doing weird things on the camera. Stop it. If you want to take an IQ test, it's basically a psychological evaluation. So you just need to contact any clinic that does adult IQ testing, and they'll help you with it. And you can also take a cognitive assessment at brain learning centers like Brain Workshop, for example.
Which you are a director of.
That is
now,
correct.
if I was in a city...
Always a plug. Always a plug.
If I was in a city... If I just moved to a city, what do I Google to find these places?
Adult IQ intelligence test, adult psychological evaluation.
Let's see. Adults.
And then when you call them, tell them what you want.
I don't have internet. I'm playing a
I
game
think
again.
one of the biggest things people don't realize is when you have this, I feel a lot, I get a lot of requests on my DMs and WhatsApp. Could you recommend a psychologist? Could you recommend a psychologist? What do you want? My immediate question is, what do you need? And they're so apprehensive to tell me. I'm like, if you don't tell me, I don't know where to send you. If you want to find out about something about yourself, if it's trauma related, depression related, IQ related, tell me what you want.
But for this, I will blame the psychologist community.
You mean the brain health community?
The brain health community, that's the word.
Yes.
So I'll blame you guys
Yeah.
For it. Because if you look at it, see, you can't expect the general populace to have a certain amount of awareness for your profession. So if
But
you look
when
at...
I'm sorry, I cut you off. Sorry, you had to do. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So if you look at the medical profession, for example, they have names. Like this guy, something neurology, he looks at the legs. Paleontology looks at the dinosaurs. What the hell am words are not coming to my brain.
So you have absolutely no idea what you're saying.
No,
so
I can't remember those words right now.
I'll help you. So you're saying if you wanted to go for something related to cancer, you would go to an oncologist.
My brain will combust if I can't think of the guy who looks after heart. Who looks after
Cardiologist.
Heart? Cardiologist, that is the word. You can't think of it.
So generally you go to a GP, right?
Yeah.
And then the GP refers you further.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing in psychology. You can go to a psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist...
All of them, psychiatrists. You have to have different names.
You have different... Psychiatrist is different from a psychologist.
Really?
A psychiatrist studied medical like other medical professionals, like MD professionals, and then become a psychiatrist who are functioning with the brain because they deal with psychosis and medication and all that.
So they then deal with psychos.
Oh my god.
So if I start killing people, I will have to deal with
Yes, if you do start killing people, you do need to deal with the psychiatrist.
And detective.
Okay, so
a detective psychologist.
Okay, so you're just quoting all 2000s television at this point, all 2000s television. So if you go to a psychiatrist and the psychiatrist further refers you, that is the easiest way to understand. I'm a psychologist. I get a lot of references from psychiatrists to look at things. I get a lot of references from schools for psychoeducational assessments. It's not very complicated. When you message me, for example, and go like, I want to know where to go for therapy. For what? I am depressed. Okay, I will give you this person. Because there's a specialization. I do not do anything with depression and trauma. So if you come to me and go like, oh, you're a psychologist, can you help me with depression and trauma? I'm like, no, I cannot. I have no specialty in that area.
Jumps out of the balcony.
This is not how this goes. You cannot say these things, Sid. Please press the purple button.
Okay.
Anyway. Frustrating. So that's what you do. But that's the summary of it. You go to a psychiatrist or whoever, whenever you ask for a health professional, tell them what you need and then they redirect you.
Okay.
It's very easy.
So
They help you.
It's not a one-stop solution. One person fixes all.
Nothing. Can you go to an oncologist and go like, my
can't.
brain doesn't work?
That's
No,
true.
it doesn't. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to. Why we know more about it is because media has helped you. Because you watched House and Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice and all of those thousands of TV shows that were made on it. It helps you understand this better.
And I would like to add another terrible show which I hated, but I have to say it because I watched it. The Resident.
I've watched like 5 episodes of The Resident.
You stopped at 5, no? Good
Yeah.
for you. Smart. You make good decisions in life.
Good Doctor is good if you are interested.
I like Good Doctors.
It's good. Also shows autism very well,
Yeah, that's true.
especially the high functioning one. So that's fantastic.
But they always show only high functioning autism in TV shows.
Atypical shows a little bit of both, kind of. I mean, you can't show low functioning autism without treading
it's
on
not
the
fun?
lines of. No, you can't without treading on the lines of discrimination and
What do you mean?
mockery.
How?
It's like Apu from Simpsons. No matter how much you try to make him more Indian, it just comes across as racist.
Oh.
So when you tread along the lines of showing low functioning autism, you have to be very careful.
So they take the easier route of just not showing it at all.
Yes, correct. Omission is the easiest form.
Yeah, this is the only form of autism we're going to focus on. The world thinks this is how autism
But a
is.
lot of people think that omission is the best form of acceptance. We accept you, hence we do not show you who you are. We don't represent you in the world anymore.
We won't butcher you
We won't butcher you or what you go through.
or your condition.
But yes, that is how it works. That's how you take a ways test. That's where this conversation started, Mr. Man.
Hey, you were the one who went off track and not me this time.
Correct. I take the full blame. So,
Well, I'm going to admit that it's not the brain health community's fault that people don't know where to go. I'll admit that because I made that statement earlier.
yes, you can admit it.
I'll admit it.
Thank you for retracting back 10 points to all of you.
No, I'm
You
getting a
and the
lot of
voices
points.
in your head.
Yes. So there are 10 voices in my head. All 10 get 10 points.
No, just you. Just the vessel that holds the 10
Just
voices.
the vessel that holds it. I think we are rambling on at this point because we are run out of things to
That
say.
is true. We did actually.
It's only now that you see.
You know what else I
everything.
consider too long?
2 hours.
This podcast.
And with that, we are to end now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Sid Adee, for your time.
Always. I'm awesome.
Thank you very much, Tayyab, for your time.
Thank you, Tayyab. Thanks for listening to Best Part Is with Sid Adee. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you loved what you heard, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep looking for the best part in everything. This is Sid Adee signing off. See you in the next episode of Best Part Is.